Hi everyone, let's go over my low time frame and micro bullish and bearish Elliott Wave scenarios on Bitcoin, starting with the low time frame bearish scenario, where we still expect a move to the downside in either a wave Y or a wave C, where a wave Y is a three-wave structure and wave C is an impulsive structure to the downside. The target areas of wave C and wave Y are overlapping with one another between 29.5k and 28.8k, also in confluence with the support box over here, the target area that we have between 28.8k and 29.1k. The more rare targets for these scenarios over here are then in confluence with the support area that we have just below, which is between 27.8k and 28.2k. And that is quite interesting, because if we do zoom out over here and I open for you the volume profile of this whole range, then you can see that if price is going to manage to get back underneath the value area high, then there's quite a high probability to go to the point of control, and that point of control is sitting at 28k. So that is quite interesting indeed. If we go to the bullish scenario, we expect a continuation to the upside. Now, the bullish scenario is a bit of a mess, to be honest. If we look at the chart, you can already see it. Like, for a bullish scenario, you want to see an impulsive structure to the upside. But how do you count this nicely in the impulsive structure, right? This wave 1 looks very much like a three-wave structure at the moment, a very, very long wave 2, but it did hit the golden pocket, so it's not as shallow as one might think, with maybe hitting the 382, for example. No, it hit the golden pocket, very long retracement. That's quite like reminiscent for a wave B. Then we have this second wave 1, which then has to be an extended 5-wave move, like an extended fifth impulse, meaning that this then has to be a wave 1 over here, which can also, argue like this also looks like a three-wave structure. Then you have a 2, this has to be 3, 4, and then an extended fifth. But as you can see, right, it's not nice, right? It's not clean, it's not easy to count, let's say, that's for sure, at least if this is an impulsive structure. And then we have a move to the downside over here, where for a wave 2 you then want to see a three-wave structure. Now, this to the downside does look like a more clean impulse. If we go to the 3-minute and we zoom in, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an extended fifth. So that looks actually better than the move we had towards the upside in this wave 1 over here. But then price started ranging, and this range is already taking ages at the moment, right? And the longer it takes, the more bearish it kind of becomes. However, if I do at least talk about the, let's say, probabilities for the upside, I do at least want to show you an example from the past. And if I go to the 15-minute and I actually go back to the past, which is not too long ago, because I have to go to the left over here, this is what happened before we had this big push to the upside. So this was on the 19th and 20th of June. And you can see price moving up to the upside, right? Over here, 5-wave structure, nice, nice, nice. And we were looking for continuation. What price then did is creating this structure over here. Now, as you can see, this structure does not look like a nice, clean, impulsive structure, right? You can argue also here there was maybe some sort of a three-wave structure, as this left low was lower than the one here on the right. So then you can, there you have something like this, but maybe this was the 5-wave. We don't know, right? It's not easy to count. Then you had a very long horizontal range and price going up and down again. This low taking the previous lows, meaning that this then has the low of a wave 2. If this is a 1, 2, a 1, 3 wave 2, and then you go up for this being a 3, big dump to the downside. Does this look like we have at the moment, right? Big move up, big move down, starting to range. This one ranged more vertical though. The one we now have is more sideways. But you can see there's a couple of signs between what we see over here and what we see at the moment. And if very spontaneously I'm gonna have a bars pattern from that low to, let's say, the breakout of this structure, and we're going to move this bars pattern to, this is not prepared of course, to the price action that we have at the moment. Let's see how it works, right? Because we are looking for this bullish scenario, and we just got to wait and see if we can actually manage to find anything that works. Now, of course, time-wise, this structure is already much bigger as well. So what we currently have, as you can also see, is much bigger in time, while price has been moving a lot more sideways. And bars pattern can really help when trying to figure out Elliott waves and time and all that sort of stuff. Like, so it would be, or would have to be, something like this. Do you agree? So you then have a sideways structure at the beginning, move up, move down. Now that's quite reminiscent, quite the same. Then you're grinding, but yeah, you want to see a move to the upside, right? It's not easy. This bullish scenario is very complex. And if we do look at the CVD divergences, which I go to in a second, we do have some bullish CVD divergences, but more about that in a second, right? So if we go to the micro bearish scenario, basically zooming into the potential of more downside, then this is the scenario we've been looking for in a WXY, where the wave Y ended perfectly inside the most common target area for a wave Y, which is between the 1 and the 1.236, taken from the low to the high of W to the low of X. So that was brilliant. Also closing the gap over here, hitting this little wick at the lows. Very nice little order block here as well for then the high of this move, and preferably that is the high. Right, we don't want to see this high being taken, preferably. Again, the invalidation, however, is a little bit higher, which is over here at 31.5k. So there is some room to the upside in case also with the volatility today, price wants to do something like this or like this, right? If you then zoom in, then here we had a move to the downside. This looks to be, on the lower time frames, a 5-wave move as explained earlier, and then a extended 5th wave, but a 5-wave move to the downside. And then we started ranging, very long range over here, and it starts to make you doubt, like, is this a 5-wave move to the downside, or is it somehow a 3-wave move to the downside? Because if this is a 1, 2, you want to eventually see price moving down. But as mentioned yesterday in the video, after this high over here, I was like, well, we got the news tomorrow. I personally think we're just going to range here, right? That's what I said yesterday after this high got in. Like, yeah, I just expect a range, nothing happening. And then when the news hits, that's when we're going to see volatility to either direction. So we have to be very aware, very calm, very sensible, and manage, risk management with our trades as well for the volatility kicking in. Because what price is showing at the moment is it's not too clear, right? There's a lot of ranging going on, which also creates a lot of doubt. Now, we did hit the golden pocket once, which is taken from the high to the low over here. One can imagine this golden pocket to be at least hit twice, because this is a big wick. So maybe you're going to fill the wick at least partly before then potentially that move to the downside. Do have a support area below price at the moment, which is sitting between 30.1k and 30.3k. So that is quite interesting for potentially a bounce, or if this one gets broken, I would be looking for the lower levels. If we look at these CVD divergences, as mentioned, we have bullish and bearish CVD divergences. Now, of course, the bullish one fit the bullish scenario, one can argue, where we then have a higher low in price, lower low on the CVD, and also more locally between these two. And then from this high, actually both, also from this high, we have bearish CVD divergences between the lower highs and then a higher high on the CVD chart. So if I get you to AGGR, then you can see we do have bullish and bearish CVD divergences. So over here between this low, a higher low on price, but if I put my line on the low over here, then it's not that one that I need, it's the one here that I actually need, lol. Where this low over here, you can see on the right side bullish CVD divergences, so higher lows on price, lower low on the CVD, but also here, higher low on price. And if I put it, you can see on the right side, the blue line crossing my cursor line, bullish CVD divergences. Actually, that was the one I was meant to have. So higher low on price, lower low on the CVD. Also, bullish CVD divergences, while over here, higher low on price, again, lower low CVD divergences on the 5-minute, that is. I should zoom in over here. So you can see lower low on the blue CVD, while on the yellow, we are creating bearish CVD divergences, lower highs on price, higher high on the CVD. So it's a bit of a mix, which really fits with the news day that we have today, because there is news where at 2:30 p.m. Central East European time, we got volatility kicking in, hopefully, and also on Thursday 2:30 volatility coming in. So everything is a bit vague on the lower time frames, bullish and bearish CVD divergences, news coming in, volatility. The bullish scenario that has some question marks, which still gives the probabilities at the moment for the bearish scenarios, because the bearish scenarios still look a little bit better. However, we are at least locally, making some higher lows. As mentioned, right, in the past, the bullish like scenarios don't have to be that clear, especially when things are this messy. Volume over here was increasing to the upside with this move to the upside. So probabilities wise, Elliott Wave, yeah, downside bearish scenarios do have a bit of a higher probability, because the bullish scenario, it's very difficult to count a bullish scenario from the price action that we have. But please trade safe today, right? Because we have news coming. It's going to be likely a volatile day, so make sure you manage everything very well. And sometimes patience is all you need. Patience to wait and see what the price action is going to do. And once you get clarity again, that is when you start trading once more. I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out the most recent educational video I've made about the best trading indicator you can use, in my opinion, which is the CVD. And for now, thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'd like to see you at the next one. Bye bye.